how Catholic leaders let Christ and the teachings of the church he founded guide their work, integrating faith and business. Each episode offers inspiring stories to help you live an undivided life. Thanks for joining us. Let us meet our guest, Jacob Ciccarelli. Jacob, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina with my wife and 4 kids. I have an 8, 6, 4, and 2-year-old. The 8-year-old is in 2nd grade and the 6-year-old is in kindergarten. We are part of a great community at St. Anne's. I think one of the best parishes probably in the Diocese of Charlotte. And together, along with my business partner and one other person, we lead a company called Truthfully. And it's a new Catholic mobile app. We recently launched it in July, and it's focused on helping Catholics become the best evangelists they could possibly be. And happy to dive into more detail there.
Yeah, so tell me about Truthfully.
Yeah. So where to begin? My wife's a convert to the faith, and my business partner, his wife, also a convert to the faith. And I don't know about you, but I've found that sometimes when there's an opportunity to evangelize, that I don't always have all the words I would have liked to have had or felt as prepared or confident to be able to share the faith with boldness and conviction. Upon doing a bit of research there, we found that 71% of Catholics actually feel unprepared to share their faith with others. And the idea for the app really came from, I was away on a religious retreat earlier at the beginning of the year, and they were talking about the faith being in piety. They bucketed it into 3 pillars: piety, study, and action. And we said, well, is there an application out there that helps people in the moment be able to evangelize the faith? And we said, if there was a way to leverage AI to be able to do it in an accurate, safe, and instant way, let's figure it out. And to God all the glory, he put all the right steps in front of us. And here we are today with an app that serves a significant number of people and is growing every day. So yeah, that's Truthfully in a nutshell.
Wow. So have you always been so bold in your faith? And if not, what changed?
I think throughout my life, there have been moments where you almost get called into the line of duty, and you have a choice, 2 choices, if you will. One, to either become a better version of yourself, or the other one to kind of sit back and relax. And I think ultimately it really started when there are a few key moments that stick out of my mind. Is my wife is a convert to the faith. And I knew when I wanted to we both were quite open to wherever God was going to lead us. And I actually remember, and I don't know if her father is going to be watching out there one day, but he said that my wife would never become a Catholic. And we put ourselves open, to the Lord and his divine providence. And really focused on, we both together dove into a lot of books, a lot of apologetic resources. And eventually my wife, she actually converted, and then we got married. And that was pretty significant time in our career and our faith journey. Just, I was challenged a lot on my faith and had to find answers. I found I didn't have a lot of answers. And so that was an area that really kind of started forming some of the boldness. The next clearest moment was the birth of our first child, Gianna. She was born at 26 weeks. It was an emergency C-section. And I was actually out of town. My wife, her water broke, and I flew back to town 2 days later at about 3:30 in the morning. She started having contractions, and the next thing we knew, our daughter was born at emergency C-section at 26 weeks. She was in the NICU for 90 days, and that was, I don't know if still to this day, there was another trialing time in my life. We ended up being blessed with 3 more children, 2 more that are in heaven, but all of the other 3 children that we do have here today, Jude, Luca, and Leo, they all had some complications. And one was born at 32 weeks, 35, and then another one at 37. Luca was our only full term. And so I think going through that and trying to build our family certainly creates a bit of boldness. if you will, and you just have to honestly give it up to the Lord. And then, lastly, just finding myself on this mission with Truthfully has really been the first time where it's been a year, and this has been really the story of this year for me, is complete surrender to God's will for our life, and praying the surrender novena religiously, multiple times a day. Really started during Lent, with Hallow played an integral role, listening to Father Chiswick's He Leadeth Me. And wow, was that so formative. And happy to get into more detail there, but those are just a few moments that really helped increase my boldness. And without those moments, I don't know if I would be as bold and confident as I am here today in the love of my faith, but I'm certainly grateful for those trials. And I just feel incredibly blessed to be here and on this mission.
Yeah, God works in mysterious ways. We don't like those trials, but when we faithfully go through them, they certainly make us stronger, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. It definitely does.
Yeah. So the Truthfully app has some incredible reviews on the App Store. So you're a sales guy, and your co-founder is an attorney. So the idea of starting an AI app. So how did that come about?
Well, the moment we knew we needed to leverage AI to be able to accomplish, to have a successful product, I knew right away. It came to me like clear as day, that a good friend of ours and the godfather of our oldest child, Gianna, he was the perfect person. And God's been working on us, for the last decade. I've been building and scaling sales teams. I met Zac at a Chick-fil-A over 10 years ago, and in the drive-thru. And we went up to Notre Dame together before we ever had kids. I don't even think either of us were married yet. And he ends up going to Notre Dame for law school. And now we both, our careers have just kind of gotten to this place where God's really, I think, prepared me, rather than scaling sales teams and teams for software companies. I feel called now to scale the kingdom, if you will, and bring more people to the faith. So, and Zac's the perfect person for that. He's incredible. I wish he was here to have the conversation with us. But and also figured if we're going to go down the path of AI, I probably need some good legal advice as well. So, he's incredible. Yeah. He does all of our content, and he's just, if there is a young Scott Hahn out there, he's certainly that person. So
wow.
If we didn't have a Truthfully app, everybody would hope that they could just have Zac with them at every moment, because he's the best apologetic you can have in any moment.
Wow, that is definitely saying something. So being in sales, when you were the sales leader, sales is a what have you done for me right now game in the secular world. And there's a lot of pressure to produce. And how do you handle that pressure to produce while staying rooted in your ethical values?
Yeah, I think one of the most ironic things is that when you are focused on becoming the best version of yourself, great things happen. And I've seen teams, when they actually focus on the things outside of work, it almost always translates into better results at work. So we focused a lot on not number one, knowing where we were, where we're going, why we're going there. I think the mission, the vision, the values are the most critical thing to any team, regardless of what part of an organization somebody's in. And then also taking everything a day at a time. There's a great book, Atomic Habits, and they say you rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. And systems, not just from an operational perspective in the systems that you set yourself up, albeit very important, but what systems am I setting up in my life to help me get through the days? Because the thing I would always, and a lot of people that have been on the teams, been on teams with me, they know that I would often say when it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and if let's say you're making phone calls, for example, making that 50th phone call for the day, like what's continuing to drive you at 2:30 in the afternoon? And ultimately, we have to have a really strong purpose and a strong why. And if we haven't been able to get to the point where we have that is very clear for us, there's a lot of clarity there. I can see why it can be very difficult. So we really just we took days at a time. We really made goals very digestible. We always were talking about how we're working towards becoming the best version of ourselves, and in small ways getting 1% better every single day. And I think ultimately small disciplines repeated daily with consistency over time yield success. And that's a paraphrase from John Maxwell, who I'd be remiss to say for any leader out there, reading anything by John Maxwell is the way to navigate any type of pressure, because I think when you're trying to be the best leader that you can possibly be, it really does, everything takes care of itself. So yeah, I think I know I hit on a few points there, but I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. It's ethical leadership. It's at its finest, and not just all about the bottom, just all about money. So you'd be a great sales leader. So we'll kind of wrap it up. And is there anything that I didn't ask that you'd like to talk about?
No, I would just say if anybody's interested in supporting our mission, try our app for free for 7 days. And you can find us in the App Store. We're actively working on an Android version for our app. So if you're an Apple user, our app is ready and available to you. There is a wait list for Android on our website. And then ultimately, if you ever feel like, if you're wondering if our app is for you, if you say yes to this question, it could be valuable to you. And the question is, have you ever found yourself in a situation where there was an opportunity to evangelize the faith, and for whatever reason, you left that conversation wishing you were a little bit more prepared, a little bit more confident. You wish you had a resource you were able to give somebody, plant a seed, share the faith with a little bit more confidence. If you say yes to that question, we could have an app that could help you. And ultimately, we're in a mission to evangelize and save souls. I think that being a Catholic leads to the most fulfilling life that anybody could ever ask for. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to come without suffering and without hardship, but I think the joy that somebody will receive from the Catholic faith, there is no other joy that will match that. And it's because of that joy that really fuels our mission that Bishop Fulton Sheen said a great quote, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but he said, there's not 100 people that hate the Catholic Church, but there's millions of people that hate it for what they think it is.
Yep.
And we want to debunk what a lot of people think that it is, because I think there's so much beauty and joy and just it's the most incredible thing that I think this world it offers well beyond this world, right? And what's more important than our souls and the truth? So yeah, that's really all. I think from a question perspective, just want to at least share that with people. It's not going to be for everybody, but for people that feel like they would say yes, or anybody that's out there seeking for answers about the Catholic faith, it could be a really good resource for you to learn a little bit more. So, we hope, and we certainly hope that is. And if you have feedback, we love feedback. Send us feedback, support@truthly.ai, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and the price is so reasonable. It's why not? So thank you so much, Jacob. Really enjoyed this conversation, and thank you for joining us on the Catholic for the Vocation of the Business Leader podcast. If you like it, click subscribe, give us a review, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
God bless.
God bless. Yeah.